We all know the Pokemon universe is full of creatures capable of pretty devastating things, but what you might not know is that some Pokemon are way deadlier than you might think. And after researching a lot of Pokemon to see which ones would maybe be a line or not, I've found some pretty surprising results. But before we get onto the video, this video is sponsored by Zen Market. Are you a fan of traditional Japanese products and wish you could buy ones that are authentic and easy to find? Then Zen Market might be right up your alley. Zen Market is a shopping service that lets you shop as if you were a Japanese local without the hassle of needing to know Japanese or even live in Japan. With over 10,000 Japanese stores to choose from, this is the closest you're going to get when it comes to shopping in Japan. Whether you're looking for your favourite manga, figurines, even Japanese snacks, Zen Market has pretty much whatever you're looking for. Once you've found an item you like, simply add it to your basket with a click of a button. And to make shopping even easier for you, all the items you order are consolidated into a single parcel with up to 60 days of free storage, meaning that if you're unsure whether you want to add more to your order, you have plenty of time to do so before your parcel is shipped straight to you. Also saves a lot of money on shipping. If this sounds like something you'd be into, signing up using my promo code on screen gets you 1,000 free Zen points as a sign-up bonus, which equates to 1,000 yen off international shipping, making it even easier for you to get your parcel delivered. So, if you're interested in shopping as if you lived in Japan, why not give Zen Market a try? Thanks to Zen Market for sponsoring this video. Now, 10 Pokemon that are way deadlier than you expected. Ghastly. I think it's pretty obvious that Gengar or maybe even Haunter would be a menace if you were to encounter one. But what about plain old Ghastly? Hell, it can't even survive a strong wind. Why would anyone be scared of this thing? Well, apparently, Ghastly, if they really wanted to, can envelop an opponent of any size and cause suffocation, meaning that it would probably make a gas cloud so big that you wouldn't be able to escape even if you tried. This gas being so strong that it could topple an Indian elephant in just 2 seconds. So just imagine what it would do to a regular human. Now, a lot of you might already have known about the dangers of Ghastly, and again, it doesn't last long on a windy day, but the Pokemon are only going to get more surprising as we go on. Yanma. How the hell could Yanma be deadly at all? Does it have a deadly bite? Does it lift humans high up into the air? Well, it's way worse. Yanma flap their wings so fast that they can generate a shockwave that shatters glass. Glass is usually durable enough to survive around up to 105 decibels, which is almost as much as a concert or a sporting event. So hearing that right next to your ear can't sound good. However, if you thought that didn't sound too bad, it gets even worse. Yanma's wings apparently are so powerful that they churn air with enough force to launch a house skyward. Forget about broken windows, how about your home completely destroyed and landing on you? It'd be like a mini tornado taking your house and you with it. I find it pretty funny that Yanma of all Pokemon turns out to be way more dangerous than you'd expect. Dusclops. It's a given that most ghost-type Pokemon are probably quite dangerous, but Dusclops might be the absolute most dangerous, because when this Pokemon opens its mouth, it sucks everything in as if it were a black hole. Remember that Dex entry about Gardevoir protecting its trainer by creating a mini black hole? Well, that black hole it makes might as well be a Dusclops in disguise. Whatever happens inside is a mystery, so unless the inside of this thing is the equivalent to Disneyland, this might just be one of the deadliest Pokemon ever created. Rhyhorn. A rhino completely made out of stone. Sure, that sounds pretty dangerous. However, it gets a bit crazier the more you look into Rhyhorn. This thing can easily topple buildings and make trains go flying with its tackles. Already sounds absolutely terrible. To make things worse though, it doesn't stop. Literally, it doesn't stop. Rhyhorn would just keep going and going until it gets tired and falls asleep. No matter how well trained this thing is, it doesn't matter. It forgets why it started running in the first place, meaning that it'll likely forget how to stop in general. Good luck trying to tame a Rhyhorn. Tyrant. Like Rhyhorn, Tyrant is a Pokemon that might seem a little dangerous at first, but is actually way worse than you think. Not only are Tyrants very violent in nature, but if you get one too rattled, say goodbye to your car. As in, it'll just eat it. If something happens that it doesn't like, it throws a tantrum and runs wild. Its jaws have enough destructive force that it can chew up an automobile. It'll tear apart anything it gets between its hefty jaws. Definitely not a Pokemon you'd ever want as a pet. And if you thought Tyrant was bad, you don't even want to think about what happens when it evolves. Machop. I think it's safe to say that everyone knows how devastating Machamp is. But what about its literal weakest form, being a tiny Machop? Surely this little guy can't be that bad, is the last thing you'd want to say to a Machop. This guy packs way more of a punch than you'd expect. It passes time by lifting boulders, as if the TCG art of it lifting a boulder wasn't obvious enough. It can throw 100 adult people. What does that even mean? As in 100 people at a time? 100 people one after the other? Can it throw a group of 100 people, then another 100, no problem? Either way, don't get into a fight with a Machop. You'll definitely lose. Whismur. We all know Loudred and Exploud are very loud creatures that you definitely wouldn't want as neighbours. But what about this harmless, cute looking Whismur? Surely it's not that bad. The cry of a Whismur is over 100 decibels. If you're close to a Whismur when it lets out a cry, you'll be stuck with an all-day headache. That sounds annoying as hell. If only it stopped there. If frightened, its shriek is the same volume as a jet plane. It scares foes by crying with the volume of a jet plane engine. How loud is a jet plane engine, you may ask? Around 150 decibels. You thought Yanma breaking glass was bad? Considering that decibels increase logarithmically, meaning that every 10 decibels increases sound by 10 times. If you thought the sound of a concert or sports event right in your ear was bad, just imagine the sound of a jet engine, with the loudest jet engines apparently going upwards of 200 decibels. And since again, 110 decibels is 10 times more than 100 decibels, imagine going all the way up to 200. Yeah, a cry from Whisper is not something you'd want to hear anytime soon, because you'd be dead. Larvitar. When wishing you had a Pokemon as a pet, did you ever wish that you had your own pet Larvitar? Well, if you did, you're gonna want to change that answer. Not only does it weigh 150 pounds, which is already a lot, but it will also eat everything you own, including probably you. It feeds on soil. Once it has eaten a mountain, it goes to sleep so it can grow. Does that mean everything on the mountain as well? Does that mean your Larvitar would also eat you? Yes, I'm pretty sure it does. Larvitar may be cute Pokemon, but trust me when I say you don't want to wish for one in real life. Esper. You know that meme of Esper that first came out when Esper was announced, where it had this evil stare like it was going to randomly kill you at any point? Well, that's not just a meme. That is absolutely true. It can generate a blast within 300 feet and has no control of its power. This thing is a ticking time bomb ready to go off at a completely random time, and you're not outrunning it. Yet another Pokemon you'd probably think would make for a cute pet that you'd want to stay as far away from as possible. Now before we get to the last Pokemon, here are some honorable mentions that weren't as surprisingly deadly, but still worth a look at. Charge Cadet. I think it's obvious most fire types are deadly, but this one in particular reaches 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a lot for something as small as Charge Cadet. Bramblegust. A mass outbreak of them can bury an entire town. Luckily there has to be a mass outbreak of them, and not just one. Honedge. Try and use this thing and you get your life source drained, but pretty much everyone knew that. Sinistcha. It pretends to be tea, then drains the life energy of anyone who thinks it is, although it's usually unsuccessful. Sliggoo. It has trouble drawing the line between friend and food, and will calmly try to melt and eat those that it gets along with. So yeah, another Pokemon you definitely wouldn't want as a pet. Frostlass. When it finds a human it likes, it freezes them and takes them to its chilly den, where they become decorations. If you ever wanted to make a Pokemon horror movie, there's your idea. Phantump. With a voice like a human child's, it cries out to lure adults deep into the forest, getting them lost among the trees. Doesn't really say what it does to people it lures. Maybe they just get lost, or maybe worse. And Serena. A kick from the hardened tips of this Pokemon's legs leaves a wound in an opponent's body and soul that will never heal. Yeah, those people making the memes about it stepping on you probably didn't know it did that. And the last Pokemon we're going to cover might just be the most unexpectedly deadly of them all. A Pokemon so vicious that I know for a fact none of you would wish it was real. And that Pokemon is Hatterene. But why? It looks so innocent. It's only 2 feet tall. What, does it have like strong psychic energy? Enough to crush its foes? Maybe it causes headaches so bad it makes people faint? No, it just pummels people to death. One blow from those braids would knock out a pro boxer. No matter who you are, if you bring strong emotions near this Pokemon, it will silence you violently. Now I'll admit, maybe it's not the most deadly Pokemon on the list, but let's be real here. Unless you knew about its dex entry beforehand, no one would have expected Hatterene, of all Pokemon, to be one that literally bludgeons people to death. Not gonna lie, that's kind of funny. And that is my list of 10 of the deadliest Pokemon you probably didn't know were as deadly as they were. Did any of them surprise you? Let me know down in the comments. And if you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like, as it does help the video out. Subscribe for more Pokemon videos in the future, and until next time, thank you so much for watching.